Alright, so after learning the quadratic formula, now we go to the nature of roots. So what is the nature of roots? So from the three cases that from the previous video, right, we have seen three cases. The three cases is where the first case is where I have two solutions. So if I have two solutions, whatever that's inside my so-called my square root, right, must be more than 0, which I've mentioned to you just now. So if you look at this, so for the case 1, right, our formula is x squared plus 2x minus 3 equal to 0. And if you still remember, our so-called our quadratic formula is negative b plus minus, right? So negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac. So your b squared minus 4ac is 16 over 2, right? So if you look at the whatever that's inside your square root, right? So this is positive, more than 0, right? So in order to get two solutions, your b squared minus 4ac must be more than 0. Okay, so of course, if I say, hey, I give you a graph, and where should be the x equal to negative 3 and x equal to positive 1 be located at? So of course, this is not drawn to scale, so this will be your negative 3, this will be your positive 1. So this is what this quadratic equation means graphically. Alright, so yeah, so if you have two solutions, they are called real and distinct root. So root is as good as saying they are the solution. Okay, so what is it? What is real? Real means it's a number. Anything that is a number is real. And distinct means they are unique. So they are not the same number. So one is negative 3 and one is positive 1. So they are called distinct roots. Another type of phrase they use, they can also say, hey, the graph cuts the so-called x-axis at 2 points. Right? Okay, now we move on to case 2, where I only have one root, right? Or one answer. Okay, so how can they phrase it? They can phrase it in terms of like real or and equal roots or repeated roots. Repeated roots means the answer is the same. Okay, if you still remember, our equation is x squared plus 2x plus 1. Yeah, right, equal to 0. And our answer is x equal to negative 1. If you sub in the thing. Okay, so for the negative b plus minus, whatever that's inside the square root, right, is 0. So if your b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, you will only have one answer. Alright, so as seen from here, so this will be negative 1. Alright, okay, now we move on to case 3. Case 3 is where I do not have any answer. So if I do not have any answer, they are called no real roots, or they can phrase it in another manner, means always positive. Always positive means if you look at this graph here, so this graph is always above the x-axis. This is what I call always positive. Okay, and you look at the second graph here. The second graph is at the negative portion. So this is what I call always negative. So as long as you're always positive or you're always negative, means that you do not touch the x-axis. If you do not touch the x-axis, means that you do not have any answer. Okay, so same thing, our case number 3. Okay, if you still remember the formula, the quadratic equation is x squared plus x plus 5 equal to 0. Okay, so if you calculate, right, whatever that's inside your square root is always negative. So you cannot square root negative number. That's why if your b squared minus 4ac less than 0, you will not have any answer. Alright, so how do they phrase it? They can phrase it in terms of does not cut. Alright, it's always positive, it's always negative. Or in another manner, they do not even need to put in English phrasing. They will just put in this. Okay, or they can put in this. This is as good as saying this is the so-called the graph is always positive, and the second inequality means that it's always negative. So as long as you see all these things, the first thing that comes to mind will be that your b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Alright, yeah, so this is for the nature of roots.